Okay, so we are back for some more punishment to the brain. So earlier I strained for a hell of a long time. We managed to get the. So I managed to do a couple things. First of all, we managed to build in the. Let's turn that off. Stop. Managed to get the game party weapons to load up as game instance weapons instead of game items. And then we got the saving functionality working after a hell of a lot of problems exploded into the scene and a lot of things that I then changed that then caused all kinds of problems that I then had to unchange and actually fix what the real problem was. But that's where we're at now. So, rid of that too. So we can now, now the game party weapons get saved and loaded back in properly. We confirmed that with the going through the game party weapons object after loading. What we're going to do now is we're going to, so I can actually get in there and look at them without crashing the game, we're going to modify the game items window to be able to display them properly. Because what it's doing now is it's looking for an ID to pull out and then looking for that ID that ID in the probably one of the database global variables, like game weapons or game items or game armor or what have you. So we need to make that stop doing that and instead have it look at just the data inside of the game party weapons. So to do that, we are going to need to go look for, you know what, first and foremost, I'm going to download this update because I'm tired of this damn message popping up every so often. So that's all it took, was that, seriously? God. Here, I thought it was going to be like, let's see, so I think, text rendering, yeah, whatever. Okay. So, what we'll need to do is we'll need to go into the, I want to say the scenes, but I'm not sure about that. We'll check the scenes first. So it's going to be scene game menu, I think, or something similar to that scene menu, I think. Scene shop, scene menu base. Dot. Okay, scene menu base. Superclass for all the menu type screens. What I'm looking for is the main menu. Scene class of the menu screen. Scene menu. Alright, so. Yeah, item. Here we go. So item skill, blah, 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 blah. So, command items that we're looking for. Create command item, open the scene item. Okay. So now we have to go find scene item, which I think is probably a different scene. Yeah, here we go. Well, it's scene item base. So we want scene item. Here we go. Okay, so we got the constructor, we got the initialization, we have the create. So scene item base.prototype.create, call this. Then create help window, category window, item window, and actor window. Okay, let's see, create item window. Here we go. So item window, window item list. Set handler. So let's go over to Windows and look up window item list. Okay, here we go. So we have a data category. Well, category and data is what we have. So set category. Category does not equal. So if the category is different, then set the category, refresh, and reset scroll. Where are we loading the data to or from? How are we loading the data into this? Because this initializes as an empty data list. So at some point we're building data that into an actual thing. Might happen in scene item base though, window item list base, or window item base, whatever it is, the base class for this. Oh, it's a window selectable, never mind. But somewhere that's coming in here being created from this. So scene last select data.index of game party last item. Here we go. This data equals game party all items filter function item. This is make item list. So we're doing a filter on function item. So we're going through all the items and we're returning this dot includes item. So this is game item, I believe. So let's go to objects and we look up game item includes. Or not. So, dot includes. That's interesting. So some definitions, references. Ah, okay. Oh no, this dot includes. Okay. Ah, right. So we are looking for the... Okay, the data manager is weapon item. And then we're just looking to see if it's a weapon. Now, again, here's the same thing where we have this. Actually, we have it overridden over here, don't we? I think so. I seem to remember doing that. Where are you? There's, yeah. So if is weapon, just check if the item ID, E-type ID is 1. If it is, then it's a weapon. It's my new and improved version of that stupid code that they use. So case weapon, return data manager is armor item. Okay, so if case is armor, return. What's the return for this though? That would be something that I've overlooked there. What's this actually returning? No, it's just returning a true or false. So includes. So if the item is in one of these categories, then include it, basically, is what we want to say. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. What about drawing, like, the names and things? Maybe that's in game party all items. Let's go see what that particularly, let's see what this does. So all items, so this dot items concat this dot equip items. Which is this dot weapons dot concat this armors. So basically it just takes all the items, all the weapons, and all the armors, throws them into one list and returns it. Okay. So where are we actually setting the draw item? So data, let's see, var item equals this data index item. Creating a rectangle for the item, change the opacity, draw item name. So item.name. So for ours, that's actually going to be the underscore name, if I am thinking correctly, remembering correctly. Yeah, the underscore name. So that might be part of what's going on, is that for the game instance weapons, it's not pulling the name correctly. So what we'll need to do is to pull this out and modify it. And we'll get around organizing this in some sort of fashion that makes sense later. So if item, then oh yeah, we'll need to also handle the icon as well. So if item is instance of game weapon, is not instance of, we'll do is not on this one, since game instance weapon, then do the following. However, if it is one, then we want to do this differently, because the index is not called this, it's underscore icon, and it's underscore name. All right. So let's go ahead and actually kill all the breakpoints here. Oh, there's only one. Let's remove it. Let's go ahead and hit that, and then do this. Go to a new game. So let's get a couple of these. So I'm going to see what errors we pop up here. All right. So property of E-type ID. So we need to figure out what's active here and what we need to change there. So first we need to figure out exactly where that is. So okay, interesting. So we're coming down here because the item we pass through is null. Okay, so if item, I'll have to do a null check. So that's something we have to do a lot of now for whatever reason. Else return false. Another question is, why is it coming up null for, but we can ask that question later. Oh, whoops. It's not necessarily that it's null. It's that we're not looking at. It's not. Yeah. Wait. I did that over here, didn't I? Crap. But I think the issue is we need an underscore. That's why. We'll see if that works instead of doing the null check. But I think cannot. Oh yeah, we definitely need a null check. So that's happening even there. And I have no clue why this thing just does all this checking when it really shouldn't be, like right then. There's not going to be any value there, so why check it? This does not make much sense to me. It's probably checking all the null frickin' values in the first elements of the arrays, for all I know. Alright, grab a few, and let's go to item and to weapon. Alright, so we have weapons and we're not crashing anymore, but we also don't have any values. So, let's see, we need to go to item scene and figure out what weapon actually does, because it obviously will do something. show something somewhere. So create item window. Scene skill, no. Let's go to this troll find. Nowhere does it say a weapon. Okay, so window item category. Window for selecting a category of items on the window and shop screens. Okay, here we are. Yeah, there we are. So weapon. Oh, it's single quotes. That's why I couldn't find it. Text manager. Okay. What about the commands? Oh, that is a command. Okay. So we need to look for item category in the scenes. Weapons 1, 2, it's reserve. Nope, not what we want. There's got to be somewhere in here that this is being. So what is this again? This is a window item category. It's got obviously has to be created somewhere in a scene. There we go. So category okay. On category okay. Activate, well, it's the cell window. So we should have another one of these for the scene item, yeah. So new item category on category OK. Item window, activate and select the last. So item window. Item window is a window item list. So if we go to window item list, okay, so we got our data, got the categories, refresh. Make item list, which is, yeah, here we go. So 1970 is what we want. Uh, 1970 of Windows. There we are. So put that there. Okay. So let's add a this to underscore data. What does this return? Obviously there's a filter, but so that returns an array of nothing. That's interesting. So, okay, game party weapons has nothing in it. I guess I didn't click on that one. Nope, actually it's not adding weapons anymore. Well, what do we got happening here? Let's see, maybe I broke something and forgot about breaking it. So we're adding a sword on change weapons. This one's sword. So if we come over to this, change weapon, or change something or other. Param plus, gain item, oh gain item, that was it, gain item. So if item E type ID is not 1, else if it is. Game party this dot weapons dot push. Line 140 of the plugin. Alright, let's put a break there and see if we're actually getting anything into here or not. I think chances are it might not be. Yep, or not. Okay, so what? Why not? So gain item. So where is this being called from? So change weapons. Game party dot gain item. So line 9607 of object. Objects, rather. Okay. So gain item, data weapons, this param 0. Value, this param's 4. Okay, let's go back over to the objects. No objects there. Or no, plugin. I want to put a check here. And I also want to go, actually, yes, I do want to go over to the other one. 4991 of objects, and I want to see if we're not, if it's actually being, if the call is being stolen over here by the actual definition. So if the override's not working or not. Not working or not. It's double negative. See if the override's working or not. 499 gain item. Four nine nine one. 4991. Here we are. Gain item. So we'll just put some checks in here and see what happens. Okay. So definitely going here. And we're going here. So there's our item. Var container. So far undefined. So container is that blah. So this to item container. So item container is, so else if is weapon, which we have defined over here. Return this underscore weapons. That's weird. So if the we're returning the container, which is this. Gotcha. So this is coming back as false. So function because in this case the right damn, okay, I see what's going on here. So in some cases this is going to have to pay, blah, blah, blah. In some cases this will have to be handling weapons, game items, and other times it'll have to be handling game instance weapons. So we need to make that distinction in the function here so that it can do that. Otherwise it'll be trying to find this, what should be actually causing a null, but it doesn't because I have no freaking clue why. It should be causing this to throw a null error because item._eType ID is not a key of game item. It's without the underscore. Now, if I didn't use the underscore, then that wouldn't be a problem, but I am using the underscore, so maybe I'll change that in the future. But it's still good to do the check anyway, so. Because maybe at a later time we want to do other checking on this is weapon thing, like maybe if the durability is a certain amount, don't allow it to be equipped or something like that. Who knows? So it's probably better to actually do it this way. So then if item, or if not, item instance of game item. So if it's game item, we want to use that. Else if item is instance of game instance weapon. The reason I'm doing that therefore is because maybe there's a plugin that adds some new thing that checks this as well. I don't know. I'm just doing it because for the sake of making this thing a little more flexible in the future. Okay, so that should maybe fix this problem we're running into here. Maybe. Alright. Oh. No. Game instance weapon, I typed it. Typos are evil. No clue what it's checking, but it's checking a bunch of stuff, and you can see there's nulls coming out of there. See, boom, null. Why the hell is it checking a null item for? I mean, what the hell is it even doing anyway? I mean, it's like it's checking every single item that's loading in from the database. Actually, that's exactly what it's doing, I think. And again, I have no clue why. It's so inefficient. It shouldn't be doing these as weapon checks because, I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. Where's the stack trace? Where is this coming from? So, yeah, see, it's like setting up some BS on the game battle or something. Game battle base. Oh, maybe it's checking the default equipment. I bet that's what it's... Well, we're not even starting the game yet. So why is it checking equipment when we haven't even started the game yet? That'll take forever. And then it's checking it again. This is what I don't get about this. Is why it does all this checking for. Alright, I didn't want to pause it, but I didn't want to do that. Alright, so here we go. We know this is working. So now, so item is an object. Oh hell. I goofed up there. Alright, now regular items should be updatable. We kind of borked regular items there with that one. Okay. Okay, so what happened over here? So container is still null. What the hell? This was working before. What did I do to break it? I know I fixed some things and removed some other things. Maybe somewhere in there I took something out that I shouldn't have. So item container calls this. Well, it doesn't call this directly. It calls some other thing. Calls item container. So if not item, return null. Else if item is that. Else if it's a weapon, then return weapons. So it seems to be returning on false for this one. And actually it didn't even go there. I didn't bring that over here, did I? No. So why did it not stop off over here for? So if item is null, return a null. I'm just gonna put breaks on everything, every line that I can. Yeah, so interesting, that says it's undefined. So we come over here. So item is obviously not null. Add a plus, say item dot e type ID is 1. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, because it's a right. We're looking at the data item, game item version of it right now. So we're just taking the game item and we want to shove it into the thing with the new formatting. So we're not quite at the other stage yet. So that should work. So if I add item dot e type ID equals 1, it's true. However, it then goes to else if. Okay, so this is on line 4054 of objects. $48.54. So I just want to comment this out for a second. All right. So now, var test1 equals data manager dot is item. Var test2 equals data manager dot is weapon item. Var test3 equals data manager dot is armor. Then we're going to say, well, let's put something there. Labberjack equals randomness. Something that we can stick a breakpoint on. That's returning a true. We know it is. It has to be. Unless item isn't a game item. That's an interesting idea and question. Okay. Well, we have item here, so I guess we could check it here. Item is item instance of game item. It's not a game item because it's just data. So that could also be the problem. So let's change this from is not instance of to not instance of this. So that means anything that's not one of these. Well, it didn't even stop there. That was interesting. Oh, because item was null? No, item wasn't null. Oh, shh. Okay, never mind me. I'm just brain farting around and stuff. If item is null, then do this stuff, because then it'll work even better, because it'll just explode in fiery bits and chunks, and it will be epic. Okay. Ah, damn it. It turned it. Oh no, it didn't. Never mind. I thought it kicked in there again, but it didn't. Okay, now we should have stuff. Alright, so false undefined. That's awesome. How do we have it undefined? What the crap? So it's still got a problem. It's still not a game item. It sure isn't an instance of... It's like if I say if item is not instance of game item, that's false. Because it is a game item? No. So that's just throwing out falses all over the place. Okay. So So it just says item is an object. It doesn't specify what the object is. Obviously it's a data object because got all the data in there. Traits and whatnot. But it's just an object. So maybe we'll just have to bite the bullet and make those changes now. To the parameter names. It's not that really that, well, it's kind of a big deal, but also not kind of a big deal. Just a matter of taking out all the underscores and finding all the places where we're using those underscores as well. Most of them should be in the plugin JS file, thankfully. But there might be some elsewhere that we'll need to deal with. Control, find, underscore, place it with nothing. Oh, right, God, 20,000, Jesus, there. What the hell? It keeps wanting to do... It's supposed to be, oh, there we go. It wasn't switching over properly. There we go. Same thing here. Now what the hell? It just goes away automatically. Yeah, I don't think it did that one properly. Only the ones that are accessed, we'll put them back in for that. These ones aren't accessed directly, they're accessed through that getter function that we created for it, so we'll leave those in and final as well. So we need to put them back in. Well, that's how it works. Change a few things, realize you didn't need to change them, so you unchange them, then rechange them again because you realize, oh wait, no, I did need to change them. In this case, we probably don't need to change them back, which is good, but there are a lot of places where they got changed. Okay, Okay, so now these will have the exact same, well, almost the exact same format. Some of them we'll have to change, we'll have to deal with because we changed it, sort of. Like for example, well, actually we did change this, didn't we? It's I type instead of E item type or whatever it is. This is really crappy. This instance of should be matching it correctly. Yeah, so they're created through JSON data. They're not being created through a constructor. So how does one tell if it's a JSON object? I'm almost certain that this is from frickin' I'm almost certain this is from this could be from whatchamacallit. This looks very similar to the code from MV. Though maybe not necessarily, but it does look like it. Really does look like it. Okay. Which is the function or class from which it was constructed. Here's a plain object. So if true because all objects are inherited from object. Okay, so if we just say if it's an instance of object. I'm hoping this doesn't nuke it because things are like inherited from object or something, but yeah, that probably will because game instance weapon, it's a type of object. We've constructed it from an object prototype. So could we do this and is not and this is probably not working either because I changed the so I'm going to change all that back now. Because the property for it in here is not that, it's iType. Let's see what this does. Okay, so item container, go. It's still loading undefined. Damn it. Item instance of object, which is true. And not item instance of game instance weapon becomes false because it's well, if you say that it's not one of instance. Okay, let's do this. Just for the hell of it, I'm just gonna say object, and we'll see what happens. If this throws an error because it doesn't exist, is undefined, or doesn't, it says is undefined property or whatever, we'll know that that object is catching the game instance as well. And then what we'll do is we'll flip them. We'll put the game instance check first. Then if it's not a game instance, it'll go to the next one down, which is instance of object, which will catch it. I think that'll be our have to be our fallback or our way of fixing that. So true. Okay, so what the hell? Oh, container is undefined because we have to. Yeah. Okay. That is normal. That should be undefined because we haven't. Actually, I could just go find Wabberjack. There's only one place in this whole damn file that's going to be at, and that's here. So all we have to do is just uncomment this now, and then we need to rerun this. Okay, let's just take it off of there. So container is now an empty array. Good. So now we should get... There we go, finally. Okay, we got thing up here. Okay, so now let's see what happens when we go to item. Take off this one. Alright, so we're still not getting anything here. This data is undefined. Well, it's because we don't have a break anywhere. I don't think we need anything here. Oh, that's all the breakpoints. Never mind, we don't have any more breakpoints over here in our item stuff. So all items. All items, game party objects, game party all items, has max items, gain item, consume all is all dead on player mask menu, blah 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 blah. Where are the all items? There we go. Let's put this here. We'll also add this. Actually, we should put it. Well, it won't let us put it at the end, will it? So if var ID is in this armors, add armors. That's weird. So let's well, we'll add a call once we actually get it stopped there. Okay, so let's see, game party dot so it returns an array with one element in it. And that's a 0 null. Awesome. So, let's see. Let's go into that. This dot weapons. What does this dot weapons return? That's the one returning the 0, right? Yeah. So this weapons, we need to see what this is actually spitting at because it's not doing it correctly. Oh, that's up here. Ah, crap. Right. Okay. So here's the culprit. Need to overwrite it here. So var ID in var ID in this dot weapons. Oh, for every so for every ID in weapons. So basically, ID is the weapon. So it should actually be called weapon, not. So yeah, I'm gonna change it because it makes more sense this way. If weapon is instance of game item, just because I want to have backwards compatibility here. Game instance weapon, then list dot push actually it's going to push back the weapon in that case, then return the list. Alright, let's go ahead and disable all breakpoints, refresh, and see what happens. Nope, still nothing. Okay, so let's go ahead and re-enable the breakpoints. So now we're getting nothing out of this. Okay, we're also doing a filter on all items. Filter function item. So we're getting, and then includes this underscore category. Because it's not a game item anymore, so we need to pull this out as well. So, if item instance of game instance and then it calls is weapon. Which I think we modified up here. Yeah. Problem is, to get there we have to go through the category, and the category isn't there. else we'll do the switch. Again, though, that's not the problem. The problem is that this is an object, right? So these checks are not going to work at this point in time. No, I'm thinking of the other time. This is different. On this one, it will be a type of game instance weapon, because at this point it's already been saved to the party weapons array. The problem is we're not pulling it out of there with these functions for some reason. So weapons, if so let's put a check on that. Put a breakpoint on that. Weapons there, one there. All right, and let's see. All right, so I'm going to see what weapon is. Okay, so we're pulling out the keys, not the internal bits. So this is similar to a for object and object.keys for each loop, just without that bit of it in it. Okay. So what we need to do then is, that makes sense now. Change this to weapon ID. And then, what the hell, that's a good width. And down here, do a var weapon equals list underscore weapons weapon ID. Okay. So grab one over here. Okay, now we do have something. We have our stuff in here. Okay, but we're still not seeing any information being pulled over into here. So let's take this out. So We need to figure out what we're actually pushing into data here. So data is still empty. Okay, so this filter includes so it also tries to pass through a null. Oh, from that, I think. That includes. So we have this includes, but it's not returning true for this. And that's why it's not being added to, it's not passing the filter, in other words. Why not? So let's break this out a bit. So we can get in there and see what's actually being returned from that function. So what is test? Test is false. Okay, so his weapon is spitting out a false. So that's over here in the, up here somewhere. So, let's see what's going on. So that one's a null, so that's fine. Alright, so plus. So game, so it's, yeah, game instance weapon. So item instance of object should be true because it is an instance of object. Now if we add instance so that would make it false. So yeah, the problem here is that we need to check for the game weapon, the instance weapon first, because we need this also for loading in regular data from the weapons data, the data weapons global list. So we just need to switch these around. Not this one. This one. So if it doesn't pass through here, then it's not an instance of game instance weapon, so it's some other object. And then if it doesn't do any of that stuff, or actually if it's, let's do an else, just to catch it if it doesn't do anything. Just so we don't have any nulls or undefineds being returned through this. So that's an else if, so there would be maybe a case where if this was something other than an object, it would return an undefined or something. Okay, good. That's still getting added up there. Perfect. Test is now true. And data array is undefined. Damn. Actually, no, we're not in that anymore. That's why. Data array is 1. Yes. Perfect. We now have our thing here. Awesome. So now what happens? And here we go. Game instance weapon is not defined. What the hell? Oh, there's a typo. That's why. Where is that? It's in the one of the window things she brought in. Game, let's see, instance of game instance weapon. That's not it. Where is that at? Console, where are you? 91. Instance weapon. Okay. So that's good though. We got it's hitting that thing, which is awesome. So we know that part's working now. So maybe, just maybe this time, we'll actually see something written in the damn window. Instead of nothing. Or crashing or what have you. Yes, sword. But it's showing up when it shouldn't be. It's showing up on all of them instead of just one of them. And we're showing 0 on the amount. So we got some things to fix on that, obviously. But we got it showing, which is cool. What if I get another one? Now we have 2 swords. Awesome. So they are treated as individual objects. Now, what's this? This is the amount. Which should obviously be 1, but it's coming up as 0, and it's also showing up on everything instead of just one thing. It should only be underneath weapon. So why is it being displayed? So let's actually let's close this and come over here real quick. So I want to change items, potion, add a couple of those. Okay. Let's also add in say stimulants, add in one of those. Apply, okay. Let's run this and see what happens. So here we can see we have stuff here. Yeah, so it's not showing on everything. It's only showing on the one tab. We're not showing the item names are not being drawn anymore. So that's interesting. What is drawing the item amount? Well, that's somewhere else. Okay, so the name is not working. So that's on line 93 of the plugin. I just want to see if that's something from the plugin or if it's something from something else that we need to fix. Okay, get rid of this. Interesting. So it should be calling these two. Draw the name, draw the number. So maybe this is not working. So let's go to the watch. Let's just delete everything and start from scratch here. So item is it's an object. So again, we need to go the other direction with these. Crap. Need to change it over here where it actually matters. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so there's that. Now, if we go over here and also get one of these. Okay, they're showing up together. That's good. Okay, cool. So those won't show there, but the sword still shows everywhere. I was worried about if these would be compatible to have this kind of, because, well, it should be, because what we're passing back from that function is going to be the data weapons or data items or whatever data from the global lists, which will have all the stuff in it to build these. So the main problem is we're getting the sword inside of things that are not sword, not weapons. Probably because we need to do a different check somewhere on the item type to segregate them from these. There's probably another filter somewhere that handles that. Now, item number. That was also over here in a window, which is actually over. It's over here. Draw item number. So game party num items item. Yeah. So let's see what that does. Num items. So item container. Container item ID, and how many items, if not, and 0. So container. So if the container is not null, in other words, then container item ID or 0 for true. That's interesting. Never seen an or used there. Or for false, 0. So I guess what this means is that if container item ID, if the item ID doesn't exist for that in the container, then use 0. Else use 0 for false. So now this to item container item, which is the thing that brings up the, I think we aliased it over here, or not aliased, we overrode it over here. Maybe. Or not. Okay, maybe we didn't. Where are you at? There it is. Oh no, that's not it. Here. Yeah, so this one, and calls as weapon. All right. So that, yeah, we didn't alias that. Well, no, we modified it to do some testing. So that's fine. So is weapon returns this weapon, so the container, and then in that container we're looking for an ID. Now, in this case, we would be looking for what ID? So let's look at, hell, is it up or down? I think it's up. No, it's definitely down. Definitely down, not up. Here. We need to figure out what we're passing through. We're looking for item. Well, it's item.id. So if it's if it's one of our weapons, that's not. It's not .id. It's dot. The other thing. So actually, what we'll need to do is we will need to alias this, or not alias it, but overwrite it. So let's throw this in the plugin. Got so much stuff over here. Didn't want to have to do that. Well, I didn't want to have to do it, but I knew we would have to do it because it's just such a complicated thing to change to instance-based weapons. It's like literally rewriting half the freaking code in this damn engine. So that's fine up to this part. The part for the return we have to check separately. So if item instance of game instance weapon return. So if it's an instance weapon, it's always going to be 1. We don't have to do anything else other than that. We just return 1 for it. Else if item else if it's an object, which it will be, anything else will be an object. Then look in the container and see if it exists. But we should always return 1, because it's always going to be 1. For one of the instance weapons. Okay, there we go. Now, what about it showing up everywhere? So, when we select these, it's loading up different lists, or it's doing something to the data to parse out the items that should be shown apart from ones that shouldn't be shown. So we need to find that spot in the Windows RPG windows where we were processing that again. So it's weapon. There we are. Command list. So those are the commands. We need to look up those commands now in the scene. Oh, that's not going to be there. What's the window? Make command item category. So window category. So on category OK. So on category OK. Window active and select the last. Okay. Which is over here. Item category, right? Item window. Wait, where the hell did I see window item category here? Create category window on category OK. Oh yeah, here, it was there. So on select last. That's a very small definition. So it's a horizontal command. Make command list. That's from item list. Now see, it should be category window, not... So bind on category OK. Scene shop. Scene shop, scene shop, scene item. Oh, no, that's right, yeah. So when we select it as OK, then we want to activate the item window down here and then select blast on the item window. That makes sense. And the item window is a window selectable. So that would be over here on item list, select blast. Now, my question is, so set category. This has got to be being called from over here somewhere. Apparently not. So, item window category prototype.update item window. Well, that's interesting. So, we're setting, so the item window is set. Okay, so we're passing through the item window and setting it to there. Gotcha. Then we are on updates of the category. We are changing the set category. If the categories are different, we're doing a refresh and then reset scroll. So the refresh command of this does what? Recalls make item list. And make item list filter function items includes item includes null. So this dot includes based on the category. So if it's a weapon, case weapon, did we overwrite that over here? So save game, this weapon, draw item name, num items, traits, all edit all items, param plus weapons, include, yeah, we did include, okay, crap, that's why. That's why. Doing stuff without actually understanding why it's that way. So, on weapon then. This dot category. So no, this should work now. I actually don't need that at all because that's fine. Data manager will handle that itself. That because we have that aliased. So this should be fine. The problem was with a different place. So I think that should. Now we got a unexpected token 195. 195. Oh. Yes, we don't need that anymore. Okay. Let's go do a new game. Aha! There we go. Now they're shown, and we'll come over here and grab some regular items. Cool. Okay. Okay, progress. Slow, painstaking progress that we have to claw every bloody inch to get, but progress all the same. So, now, next up, we're going to do something different. So I need a break from digging through this and like destroying my brain on this stuff. We're going to go ahead and create the scene and the menu to display the weapon information. So first and foremost, what we really need... So we can go about this two ways. I could do this the same way I did the class changer, where you have the first thing you see is a list of characters to select. You select one, then the commands happen. Or we do it like the main menu here, where we have the command list and we show a window selectable of the characters, and then once you select what you want to do, you select the character, and then it goes into their equipment and so on. For this first version of it, though, what we're going to do is just use the game party items. We're just going to modify them directly from there. So, in this case, I think all we need to do is just to display a list of the items, and then display, once you select one of them, you display the commands you can take on that item, on that weapon, I guess, and then be able to modify it that way. So we'll need to do a few things first. First and foremost, let's go ahead and add in a... So we need to add in... This is one thing. So weapon experience points. We need to figure out a way to add to that. Now, the best way to do it is to modify the... game battler rewards code so that it will give experience to the characters and to the weapons, maybe at a varying amount of experience rate. So let's go take a look at game battler and see if we can find out where that's happening at. So let's just see if we can find EXP somewhere. EXP total. So game troop. So this .dead members .reduce function R. Okay. So game data operand. That's okay. So it's one of those. Change EXP. X parameters. Alright, so let me just search up real quick. Previous. Okay, so that's just on expire. Okay, experience rate, which is that last state expired is buff expired, is state expired is buff expired, EXP init members. So it's on game actor init XP for level. Initialize experience, current level, next required max level, change experience. So that's in game actor. So .show. Or not .show, but show. Where is that used at? Show. Oh, here. Show, and then this level is greater than last level. Display level up. Okay. Gotcha. So in here, we want to take this out and alias it first of all. We want to overwrite it. We can't really alias this, I don't think. Or can we? So while... So this XP class ID equals math.max XP 0. Last level this. No, I guess, yeah, we could alias it, I suppose. we don't need to modify anything within it. We just need to add some code to add the stuff to the actor's weapon. Obviously, in this case, we'll be putting it on the weapon that's in the first weapon that we have. That's a game instance weapon in the game party, but then we can modify this later on to actually go to the actor's weapons once we actually get the actor equipping code up and running. So first thing we need to do is we need to alias this. So var game actor change exp equals game actor okay. So though, here's the thing. When we do the alias, well, it shouldn't matter. It did matter the other time, but I don't know, because there's sometimes when it works just without. And I think it might be because ones that we use where it works are ones that don't have any parameters. So let's do a search on that. So RPG maker nv proper alias a function with parameters. So params game string updates. So some alias style Molina.dairy system, some alias style game screen update, game screen prototype.update. Why is all this crap on one line for? I sure hope to God people aren't coding like that. It's just ridiculous. So var party actors equals game party actors. Function apply this argument's da, da, da. Oh, okay, we're calling call instead of apply, and we do a call. Okay, maybe if we do apply, because with apply, so when you're, let's, let me show you instead of just like stammering and trying to explain. Let's go back down over to here, because it's quicker. So, where are you? Where's one of these things? Damn it. Show yourself. I demand hear this. So, we have this .initialize.apply this arguments, right? So when we're using .apply, it passes the arguments as they are, I guess. When you use call, it seems like it throws it into a some sort of arguments object or some sort of packages in some sort of object kind of format, to where you have to pull the objects out of like an array. So I think if we do, instead of doing a call on these, where was the one we were just working on? If we do apply instead of call, it should work without any issues. So I just want to see if that does work. So I'm just going to take this code out. And we're basically just going to do the same code, but we're going to call it from here instead of from the actual function. So GeoWill game. So I'm going to check. If my suspicion is correct on that or not. So we'll call from myself over here. Let's close that. We'll call change XP. On entire party, it doesn't really matter what. Let's say 500 or something. So I just want to see if it will actually properly work that way, or if we're going to end up with an issue from having the arguments be packaged in a certain way. Cannot read property, apply of undefined. What's the H? Okay, well, that's a new one. 198, it's undefined. Maybe there's a typo. Game actor prototype. I wonder, that might be a typo there. Yeah, it's a typo. It's not all caps EXP, it's lowercase xp. Yep, that's it. Alright. I could have just looked at it right here. God, that's stupid. Let's go check the RPG objects file for a function name that's right there in front of me. Okay. Reload that. That's good. That means that I was looking at that and saw that it wasn't correct. Yes, it does work. Perfect. So that's good to know. Alright, so before we call that, because what we'll do is well, it could be also after, I suppose, couldn't it? It could be after. It doesn't really matter. Because eventually I want to like show a screen that shows, you know, weapon leveled up and shows you what stats changed on it. So we want to just say just the first, so for alright, so var inst weapon equals whatever, equals nothing, we'll say. So well, it's gotta equal something. So for var I1 equals 0, I1 is less than game party dot weapons dot length I1 plus plus. Well, we're going through this now. If game instance weapon, then inst weapon equals I1, And I'm going to break the loop. If I'm going to make sure that we actually do have something set there. So now if we do, then let's create a new function on the weapon to modify the experience. So instead of just increasing or decreasing, we're going to just say modify, and we'll be able to pass through whether it's a plus or a minus. Dot change exp. And yeah, it doesn't matter. Change exp is better. Equals function exp. So this dot underscore exp equal plus equals exp. So let's see now. If this dot underscore exp plus, so in case exp is a negative, is less than 0 or is greater than 0, do this, else so if the sum of what we're passing through plus what's existing is greater than 0, then greater than or equal to 0, then allow it to be set, and if not, just set it to 0. If for some reason you end up spending more experience than what you actually have, which shouldn't happen, but again, it's better to be defensive on this stuff than not, so you don't get negative experience. So now what'll happen is that from here we'll call if it's if the weapon's instanced, then let me go check this. I'm gonna see if so this makes the okay, so it doesn't well, let me see, where is this being called from? Let's say, for example, how's it being called from this actor dot current XP plus value. Okay, yeah, so that's fine. Then also, in addition, the params, the experience. Oh wait, params 5. This params 5. Why is this params 5 being used there? Oh, it's the show? No. Yeah. Change XP plus value params 5. What is params 5? It's like an attack or something, isn't it? Magic defense. That's kind of weird. It must be for something else then. Oh no, this as in the game interpreter. Derp. So that must be like a show command or something that it's tracking the value of that, the boolean for that. So yeah, it doesn't break it down and like divide it by character. It just gives you the full amount for every character. So then we call inst weapon dot change exp and then exp. Alright, so that should gain us experience on the weapon. Now that we have that there, we need to actually go through and create the scene and stuff that'll be used for this first version here. So we'll need to create some scene things up here and windows and such. So the scene will be called scene blacksmith, just for the moment. So window, weapon list, and then action pane, and then command pane. And the rest of this we can get rid of. So we're going to have 3 windows. The first window will be the list of weapons. In this case, it's the list of weapons from the game party weapons list. Then once you select one of those, an action pane will show up where you can select what you want to do with it. So do you want to level it up? Do you want to refine it? Do you want to whatever? And then the command pane will show up, which will say so action pane, we do need more of these, and we'll need a function, window, level up, but for right now, we'll just do the leveling up. And then the command pane, which will show the confirm or cancel buttons. So if you watched the stream I did a while ago where I was showing off some random dudes battle points kind of system, that's kind of similar to what that's going to look like. It won't be exactly the same, but in terms of the functionality of how some of those windows worked will kind of be the same. So you'll have the list. You'll select the list, and then there'll be a. Oh crap! Yeah, we need that too. We'll need a weapon status window. Arguments. So, select the weapon. The weapon information will show up. And then you'll get another list, probably on the right side instead of the left. Well, maybe we'll have it show up in the same place. We'll hide the weapon select list. Weapon list, and we'll show up the action pane, which will be in the same area but smaller because there'll be less options. And then from there you'll select something. Once you select it, maybe we'll change the location and position or something of the location of the weapon status window and show the level up window. In this case, that's the only option we'll have for the moment. And then we can level it up with the experience that we have and maybe paying some gold. And then it'll show you what you'll gain per level, maybe. So that's another thing now. So how do we want to do... how do we want to process or handle the actual leveling up, giving it the increased stats? I don't want to just say, like, give it 1 stat point per level or something like that, or 1 every 2 levels or something. I mean, for now, that'll be fine because it's just a proof of concept. But once we actually get into making the rest of it proper, once we have all the structure set up around it, so that we can level up the weapon, we can refine it, we can repair it if it's damaged, do the weapon durability stuff, weapon synthesis stuff. Once we have all that structure in with proof of concepts, then we go back in and we actually flesh out all the different things we'll need to actually make it work for real. Right now we're just making it till we fake it, as the case may be. We got these windows here, so that's fine. So scene blacksmith. So, scene blacksmith dot prototype dot or equals object dot create scene base dot prototype. Then scene blacksmith dot prototype dot constructor equals scene blacksmith. Okay. So scene blacksmith dot prototype dot initialize. Okay, so first thing I want to do is we want to show the so this dot create weapon list. So then we want to say scene blacksmith So we're also going to need to have the help text window at the top. So I'm just going to go over to my bank script really quick and maybe lift some code for that out of here. Create help window, create windows. So we want to do okay, we need to grab that create help window. Or actually, it probably just does it automatically. Yeah. I'm not calling that anywhere. That's calling a. It's calling up the inheritance chain to probably scene. Scene many base. Oops. Not scene base, but scene many base. Up to scene many base, which has that in it, and it's creating that at the top. So that's fine. So now, so var width equals whatever. So the width isn't going to be that big. So maybe 100, maybe 185. Var height. It's going to be at most 250, I think. So var x is going to equal graphics dot height minus rather it's going to be this dot the help window size. Where is it? Get that. So WinH create action pane. So it's the bank details that use it. So this I'm just going to help window dot height. And then var y equals 0. Or no. Yes. No. I think I have that backwards. Yeah, we have backwards. X should be 0. Okay, so list underscore new window okay, so window weapon list. So we want to pass through the width, actual W, H, X, and Y. This dot underscore. So we want to do a So I'm going to do a set handler on OK and cancel, and then we'll pull out the index of what we selected from there. Okay, or whatever we want to use to. That'll probably be the index in the weapons list, game prior weapons list that we'll use. So this, so this action pane, so this window, this whatever the window is, and then set handler. So is it this and then the command, then this dot, whatever the function name is. So this will be okay. This dot on web select, and then dot bind, I think. Dot bind this. I actually don't think you do the parentheses on the no. Okay. Oh crap, what is that? Command add window, yeah, that's what I thought. Wasn't showing up. This underscore web list wind. Okay. So we have our first window here. So now we need to create that. So window weapon list dot prototype dot equals object dot create window select function width, height, x and y. So this dot underscore now I think that's correct. I could be wrong though. Oh no, we do. We do call and then we pass to the arguments. Okay. So it's XY with height on that one. So it is initialized though. Yeah, initialize.call. .apple. Crap. This then XY with height. Alright. So now we need to set our list command items and the help text for the command items. So do we want to do for now, let's not. We'll use the. Maybe we'll. Well, no. I think we'll do it all in this. The main issue here, though, is the width of it. I'm thinking now that maybe this won't be enough width. Let's put it up to 250. So it'll be kind of square and chunky, but we'll refine it as we go through the process here. Alright, so the command list, we need to build it. Call this dot build com list. So window weapon list dot prototype. Kind of already know where we're going with this from the bank script stuff if you watched any of that. So var clist equals an array, and then we need a var weapons equals game party dot weapons. Now instead of doing the object keys for each loop because of how annoying that is, instead what we're going to do is, so we can actually get rid of that. What we're going to do is we're going to use that for whatever in loop. So for var weapon ID in game party Now we only want to process weapons that are, because say sometime, let's say we want to put in a feature that will make it so that only certain weapons can use this system. For example, maybe some like a tag or something. Then that will then identify this weapon as for the upgrade system or for the advanced weapon system. That way you can have some of each. I mean, it kind of. Kind of sort of would work. I think we may have to make some changes to the code we have for that, but let's just go on the assumption that they're all going to be. Every weapon is going to go through this plugin. We'll assume, for the moment anyway. So we won't do a check on the instance of. So anything that's in game party weapons should be a game instance weapon at this point. So we have to build the command list. So var new C item equals weapon dot name. And you could do it all on the same line. I'm just doing this for brevity's sake to make it a little less complicated, so we don't have like this huge game party weapons weapon ID dot name thing on there. But we can do it that way on the when we go back and kind of refactor this a bit. So I want to try and keep this as simple as possible for the proof of concept. So we have the name. Then we want to add that name to the list. So clist dot push new C item. And then once we're done, list dot underscore comlist equals clist. So that'll build our command list. We're not going to do anything in terms of like displaying the level or anything in the list. We're just going to display the names. And then what we'll do is on the index, so we'll need a function to get the weapon ID using the, well, if we have multiple weapons with the same name, that's going to be the problem. So, well, it shouldn't matter, because if every weapon's going to be in here, then it can be from 0 onwards. So the index should be able to be used for this. So that should be fine. So what we'll do then is, I think probably all we'll need to do now, because everything else that's internal to do the lists and things should happen on its own. Hopefully. We'll see though. So I think all we'll have to now is just window underscore weapon list dot prototype. Prototype should have another T dot on OK select or on selected, or what is that? Action pane, blah blah blah, on process OK. So on process OK equals function. I think there's an index in there, or no? No, but we can get the index just as easily. So we are going to create another variable. So prototype. Probably go to hell for that one. Prototype. Dot. Get selected weapon. So for this one, equals function. What we're going to do is we're just going to say return game party dot underscore weapons, and then rather we'll return this dot underscore selected weapon. Then we'll have another function. Okay. So down here, this is where we'll call that this dot set selected weapon. I'll pass through this dot underscore index. And then we'll need to call Windows selectable prototype process call this. So I think that this is all we need to get to here. But let's go ahead and load this up and see what happens. I am ready. My body is ready for all kinds of errors. And here we go. One error already. Windows select is not defined. It's Windows selectable. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. I was like, isn't this selectable? I'm not sure. I'll just go with select and we'll see what happens. Selectable. Any other place where we need to fix that? Just selectable. There. Okay. No compilation errors. Well, syntax errors, not really compiling. But yeah, so there's that. Oh, right. Kind of hard to open up the window and see if it works without any bloody interpretations of plugin commands and such to do that. So let's just go ahead and uncomment this and recomment out everything else. Okay, so on this, let's just see blacksmith open. Whoops. So BS open or command BS. Build the args. Okay, so that's going to be BS open, and that's all it's going to be. There won't be any matches. Scene manager push. Scene blacksmith. Okay, and then from a new plugin, a new event, we'll call the plugin commands. Put this guy back here. What do we want to use for this? Let's do it on this guy. So plugin command BS open. Yes, yes, yes. Everything is not working. So we got no errors, which is interesting. We have one hidden, but that's just weird. Okay, so we call scene blacksmith.push, scene blacksmith, scene menu base, create window, add window. I think that was maybe the problem. We can't really show the window or activate it. We also need to do the same thing, at least the show part, for the help window. Alright, let's try it this time. Oh, as for the Crimson Echoes videos, those will be coming up. I will be uploading those tomorrow. Alright, let's see what happens this time. Nope, still got a problem. Okay, to the plugin. So maybe it's not I bet it's not matching for whatever reason. Where's the game interpreter stuff at? I'm betting it's not getting into there. Okay, so let's see what command actually is. BS open. Nope, it's getting there. Okay. So create. Maybe it's getting stuck somewhere. Let's throw a bunch of stuff in here and see what happens. Initial. All kinds of typos on that. That's what it is. Surprised it didn't throw an error. There we go. Cannot read property height of undefined. Where do we end up at with that? There's probably create weapon list. Wait, help window dot height is not defined. What? So scene mini base. Initialize function dot create. Oh, we're missing. That's interesting. Okay, we kind of goofed up on a step. So this should all go in a create function. We need to call cminibase prototype.create. Call this. Initialize, call this. Alright, let's see if that does anything different. It should have that, I mean, it should be a member, so if we're not initializing or calling, that's still saying height. What's going on? So, call create help window. Which I definitely know I didn't define down here. No, it's a thing from scene, from window or scene menu base or something. But when we come down here, graphics.height, and then we have this to underscore help window dot height plus 35. Is there a typo or something? Not really. That's interesting. Create help window. Yeah, that is very, so scene menu based, prototype.create. Object create scene menu based prototype. See, this one has definitions all over the place. When I look over here though, constructor, scene, blacksmith. Oh, there we go, now it's showing up. Let's see if it works this time. Damn. Why is scene menu base undefined? Or help window. Property undefined, 283. Yeah, this underscore help window to height. Not doing anything different. Oh, wait. Yes, I am. I think I ran into this problem on the other one, but I recognized it a little bit faster. You have to create the help window before you create the window that's being based off it. Okay. It's almost 11. Let's see. I blame it on that. Okay, bind. Now we got a different error. Bind of undefined, which is fine. Because we haven't defined these yet. Let me also make these proper camel case, so we don't have the capitals there. On weapon select cancel, scene, blacksmith, dot prototype, dot on web select. Okay, so those should not throw errors this time. I'm not sure. I think we might have to pull some stuff in from Windows Selectable to customize it properly. We'll have to see if it draws properly or not. Alright, so we got this, but we don't have our items listed here. That's fine. We got our windows though, so that's good. So our command stuff isn't being displayed, and I think that's because we need to pull in certain things to make it happen. So if I go down here to my action pane window, I think we have to so there's that. Next, what we need also. Process OK is fine. Max calls. It's probably all this we could bring over. That's all pretty much just a static. Kind of spaces things out the way I like them on the sizing of it, so that should be fine. Obviously we'll need to change all these to this. Okay. And then let's try running it. I don't think we have a refresh over here, do we? No. Well, actually we have an update help. That's for the help text, which we're not using. Yeah. Yeah, there's no refresh, so it should be fine. Once we get this going, then we'll call it a night. No. Alright, so let's activate those. I'm going to get rid of everything, and let's go down to we're building our list set and see what we're getting for that. Okay. So now I'm wondering if it's actually building the list correctly or not. Now that we actually have it displaying correctly and some of the other stuff in there. Okay, here we are. So let's hit. Oh, okay. So it didn't do anything. Oh, because we don't have any. Yeah, it's one of those days. I don't have any weapons to actually display in here, so it's not displaying anything. Aye. Okay, so new. Okay, now we do. Still not displaying the stuff here though, so still have something to look for to see how we can fix it. So go to. Alright, so we need to add in weapon, which we have. Need to add in new C item, which is currently undefined, which is fine. Then we need to add in C list, and then add in list_com list. Okay. Okay, so action item's not being called because we need to also implement draw item, I guess. So this is being built properly, don't worry about that. Yeah. So this is still not being called. Let's go ahead and let me go over here real quick. Draw item. Initialize. Let's actually pull this down so that we can actually put a breakpoint in there properly. I'm wondering if we need to call refresh or not. I don't think we need to, but we might. Okay, let's take a look at the scene. I might be calling refresh. Yeah, I am. Oh no, wait. Act pane, activate, show, and select. But we're just refreshing the bank details window. Create action pane. Oh no, we're calling refresh at the bottom of that. Never mind, we are calling refresh. So we might need to call refresh. Yeah, because that's what calls the draw items. The draw item function, and that I'll call the draw action item function. No. Still isn't working. So create action pane, blah 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 blah. Action pane set handler, help window, show help window, action pane dot refresh, then add window. Then activate show and select. So, oh. I'm amazed this thing doesn't throw errors at that stuff. It's like, what the hell? That should have thrown an error, a compilation error, or whatever it does, error, because it shouldn't have existed. Okay, well it didn't help anyway. So it's not even calling this. We're calling refresh. Where was that? Okay, here we go. It's supposed to call, well, it calls draw items, which then calls draw item index. And then you're supposed to implement draw item index, and then, which I've done. Well, draw item index, what is this one? This one has, oh yeah, draw item index, but it's not, this isn't being called. Oh, crap. Changing things in the console does not work. Gotta, just, I need to keep reminding myself that you can't edit things in the console, you moron. Well, that didn't help anyway. So, what the F? Is this refreshed? I didn't copy paste it. No, it's web list win.refresh. Show activates this dot underscore web list. So Windows selectable. Selectable prototype image. Let's call this build com list. Maybe we call this dot refresh from in here. Maybe it'll work that way. Crap. There we go again. Trying to make modifications in the bloody console. So there we go, finally. Actually, I think I was trying to access it without having any... There we go, sword. Awesome. We have information. Awesome, it's showing. Cool. So, there we go. It begins, the building of this window. So thanks for watching the stream. If you did so live, if you're watching on YouTube afterwards, comments, questions, leave them below. Would appreciate it if you'd subscribe to the channel. And so I'm not sure. I may have the day off tomorrow. I may not. I'm gonna go in when I normally do to work and see if there's anybody there. And if it's locked, if the place is locked up, then I'm just gonna drive right back up. And at that point, I may do some more streaming. I probably want to do streaming in the morning. I think what I'll probably just do in the morning is, before I go, I will be uploading the videos, and then I'll just release them and then go, and then come back, and I'll do streaming around probably something around 10:30 or so, 10:30, 10:45, if I do have the day off and I end up coming back home. So, until then, I will see you later. OBS, there you are.